How we doing? How's everyone doing today? How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. You doing good?
It's been a tough weekend. I
It's
guess we're
been a
gonna
tough
discuss, but
weekend.
it's been a tough weekend. It
Yeah.
has not been easy on the mental side, but
No, we'll have a lot to discuss because it was crazy.
yeah,
It was crazy.
yeah.
Everybody lost. We made a lot of wrong.
But I think actually
predictions, I
today
guess.
where it was like the crazy game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had what? A lot of 3-3s.
Yeah.
Like the comeback on Tottenham. How
The
about
late
that?
Aston Villa goal,
the
1-0.
That was a beautiful one.
Crazy, crazy,
Two
crazy.
crazy goals to finish
Yeah,
the games today.
crazy day.
I want to know your thoughts about Tottenham because we've been talking a lot about Bale and
All right.
kind of thinking of
Yeah,
where it's
so,
going to go. So hold on, let me just lay this
So,
out a
so,
little bit.
so it's funny because I watched the game and,
Right.
and like I predicted, Bell comes in, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be the new headline, right?
Yeah.
Either Bell is in or Bell is out, right? That's gonna be the new headline. And he came in, he had a huge miss. I don't know if you remember, he had a huge
Yeah.
miss. At this one, it was 3-2.
Yes.
So the first 20 minutes, Tottenham are up 3-0. Crazy. I mean, a beautiful plays between Harry Kane and Son.
Correct.
Very nice to see as a Tottenham supporter.
60 minutes of just
Yeah.
hammering the hammer.
Yeah, very crazy, but very fun and enjoyable soccer to watch as well. And it's 3-0 before the half. I'm thinking I don't even need to watch this anymore, but I will anyways because
Right.
because I knew Bale's gonna come in. And then he did, and at some point it was 3-2, and he had a clear shot at goal. He goes by
Right.
3 defenders.
He beautiful two touches.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
Aguero,
It was
Aguero.
right, amazing. And I was like, oh my god, if Bale's gonna play like this in Tottenham, like where has he been all these years in Madrid? And
That's
then
right.
he missed a
That's right.
shot. And to me, I'm
Goodness.
thinking, I wasn't mad. It is what it is. It's his first game, so I'm not too upset. But I knew if that was Vinicius in Real Madrid,
Yeah.
the world would go crazy, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone would say,
That's
"Oh,
true.
finishing, blah blah blah." But
It's true. I would.
yeah, I
would,
know
that's
you
fine.
would. So I was like, okay, whatever. 3-2. It's like the 90th minute. I'm not thinking there's too much gonna happen. Like I'm already like trying to think about what to watch next. And then Lanzini comes off the bench, and I'm like, oh my god, because I know Lanzini. He's a great player. He had a
Yes.
bad injury last year, I think. And I knew something was gonna happen. And then there was that crazy shot, 3-3. Game is over. Everyone's saying the Bale curse is in Tottenham now. To me, it's stupid to say,
Hamilton
but
bailed out, right?
yeah, exactly. So Mourinho said after the match that the players are not psychologically strong enough yet, which
Yeah.
I think that's the only explanation. Because when
Yeah.
you're up 3-0 so early in the
Mhm.
game, you have to be very strong psychologically to really
It's true.
keep playing,
True.
keep trying, not let go, and not joke around with your friends. Because we know from our games when we play and when we're up 5-0 at the half,
Mhm.
there's always a comeback, right? So
True.
psychology is a big effect into this kind of match, and very disappointing.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. And just to lay that off, I want to get your feedback on, because first half, even though it was 3-0, and even before Bale came in, right? It's not as though. So that's where I'm kind of defending Bale here today. I don't think it was on him.
No, it's not.
or
Of
the
course
fact-
not. Of course
'cause
not.
Some people could say, oh, he's been lazy.
You
right?
can't
So
blame
he
it on
did-
Bale. He came in I don't know what
Right.
minute, but you cannot
Right.
blame the game on Bale.
Right, so-
There's 10 other players, right?
Exactly. And my point
I'm not.
being,
I would never blame Bale for a loss. That's silly.
Exactly,
That's very
exactly.
silly. You can't blame one player. I know we're gonna discuss this later, but even in the Real Madrid game, everyone's going in on Vasquez, and I'm like,
Mhm.
come on. There's 10 other
Yeah,
players.
Exactly,
Chill out.
Exactly. So, for example, earlier on in the first half, Mikel Antonio had a bouncer, like a yard
Yeah.
in front of the goal. It
Yeah.
came right to him. He missed it.
Mhm.
And then there was in the second half, Fornals with a header.
Right.
Also before Bale came in.
Right.
And-
It had nothing to do with Bale.
Either of those goals, if either of those opportunities had they translated into goals, could have
Game is
changed the
different.
game on its head much earlier. Than,
Right, of course.
Bale coming in. But I do think Winks wasn't as good a player to go in the middle, and once Højbjerg left, there was more space for.
Yeah,
for
for
West
sure.
Ham to
I saw
operate.
that. Yeah, for sure. I agree. But also, when a young player like Wiggs, when he comes
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
those late second half minutes, it's really hard to get a rhythm going. You
Yeah.
can expect a player to progress and be that top-notch defensive midfielder when he gets the 15 minutes a game, if at all. So
Right.
again, I'm not gonna blame it on him. Anyways, I just think the substitutions were either a little too early or a little too what's the word, like no respect to your opponent. You're gonna
Yeah.
switch out your entire midfield because and I think we talk about this every week, and we see it in modern football that the midfield is where the game is won,
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
You can go back in the years. You see the crazy Barcelona team that Pep Guardiola had with Xavi, yeah, you know,
Busquets,
everything started in the middle. As
Torres.
soon as Real Madrid renovated their midfield with Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro, Xabi Alonso, that's when we started winning these big games.
Mm-hmm.
You see it with Everton today. You know, they brought three. I'm blanking out. They brought James, Decore, and Allen. You know, so
who else? They brought one
and
more.
they have Gomez playing the midfield. As soon as that midfield got renovated, they started winning games, right? So
Right.
if you take away your midfield, that can easily throw the game away to a different side and throw your entire momentum out.
Right.
I think if I was a coach, I would be less likely to switch off more than one midfielder,
Yeah.
personally. So I think that's what threw away the game. I do believe that if Bale would have scored that chance, there's no way. There is no way for a comeback. But again, it's not on
can't
Bale.
not. You
You
can't
cannot blame Bale. You
Yeah.
cannot blame any player, any singular player, unless they miss an open net.
I had a little point here that I made for when watching the first half when Tottenham were making the big moves in the game and kind of spread it
Mhm.
open. I noticed that West Ham were attacking from the left side. They were going at Aurier,
Right.
which whenever, even though they were successful in making it upwards on the field, what happened was they stretched out the game, and they were very stretched toward that side. That left on the right hand Kufal, that left Balbuena, and that left Ogbana. A lot of space in between them, and that brought the gap in for Son on that beautiful goal. Curled
Right.
it. So much space. By the time the help defender came in, he had like 2 yards to just kind of like, where do I want to place this?
Right.
Which was the issue, the transition early on and being defeated on those gaps.
Yeah.
Tottenham again managed to capitalize. All credit goes to Tottenham for doing that. I still think that there's more for them to do. This was a
Of course,
a
of
very
course,
telling
100%,
performance.
100%. I think it's not that, and not to take away any of the work that West Ham did, but Tottenham lost the game.
Mhm.
You know, more than West Ham tied Tottenham. That's
Right.
my point.
agree with that.
I think Tottenham just lost it. It's very, you know, everyone says, oh, I would love my team to be 3 up in the first 45 minutes, but to me, I don't want to see that. Like when I watch Real Madrid, I hate seeing them score first in early periods of the game, because to me that says, oh my God, they're gonna let loose because they're Real Madrid and they're playing smaller teams. And that often happens.
You start taking things as a given.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
say that the great teams, no matter what the scoreline is, you can hide it, but you can always tell the brand of football they play. It's always the same. It's the same effort on pressing. It's the same type of pressure that they put the opposing
Yeah.
team under when
Yeah.
they're possessing, trying to score and get forward. It's not let's get complacent left to right or we can sit back. The great teams, they're always pressing. Their mentality, their belief
Yep.
in how the game should be played on
For
their
sure.
opponent.
For sure.
So that's and that's another thing I really wanted to bring this up to you because in the last 10 games, Tottenham haven't kept a clean sheet.
Right.
And Mourinho, that's his forte. But he does not have the players. So if this season doesn't go well, which at least now it's looking like it will be an inconsistent one at least, right? He will probably get another year after this. Almost
I
no
think
matter
as
where
long
ends
as he
up.
makes the
There's
top
the
4,
excuses.
as long as he makes the Champions League,
Yeah.
as long as I think that's his goal, right? I think if you were the board of directors or Daniel Levy or whoever makes call the shots, really, I think as long as you make top 4 and make the Champions League, I think you're good.
All right.
I think he should win. Again, I say this every episode, but
Yeah,
he should
yeah.
be winning the Europa League. There's no excuse not to win, no matter who you came. I mean, no offense to any other teams, but I don't think there's Arsenal plays, right? I think Arsenal is the only team that can really threaten
Yeah, and
that
we
title.
don't know who's going to drop down from the Champions
Exactly.
League yet, but for the
Right,
time being,
that's a good
for the
point.
time
You're
being.
right. That's a good point. But I think at the moment, unless you lose to Arsenal in the final, there is no excuse to not go through with that competition. So, again, if he makes top 4, I'll be happy. I'm sure the board will be happy. I think Mourinho will be happy too. But what I did want to point out, if you're talking about the defense, is Reguilon. Who I thought had an amazing game.
Yeah, I
his
like
second
him.
his second game in the team, and he looks amazing. He looks like he's connecting with the players. I really enjoy watching him. And as a Real Madrid fan, we have that buyback clause, so I'm happy he's getting the minutes, especially under Mourinho, who is an attack-minded. Everyone says he parks the bus, but I told you from day one, and when he gets his players, he plays an offensive game, and which we clearly saw that in the first half of the game.
Fast transition.
Yeah.
They were very fast in
Long
transition.
ball, through balls. Yeah, that's the way he liked to play. That's the way he played in Real Madrid with Ronaldo. So
So now he's bringing that to Tottenham, and we talked a lot about them, and they deserve it. They had pretty good start to the game. I think they can translate forward. I can close a little bit of what I can say on Tottenham.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure whether or not they are good enough for the top four this year because of their inconsistencies up front and defense is not so successful.
That's fair.
I would say if he gets top 6, it's a good job. If he gets them 5-6 with the squad, that's just because of my perspective on the players. I know you may like some of them more, though I completely agree with you on Reguilon. It's a great point.
Yeah.
I always told you like I like him for Real Madrid.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that was a shrewd deal again. And how many times do you say that about Real Madrid when it comes to transfer market? Very often they do good deals, and especially right there, it could cost them what, 9-10 million pounds. Because
basically,
they sold him for 35. They can buy him at 45.
Sound like
They get a ready player. They don't have to keep Happy on the bench.
I'm a bit surprised that Tottenham agreed to those terms, but hey, by all means, I'll take it.
That's what I'm saying.
He's getting the minutes that he deserves, and
I don't like the business Tottenham did. I don't like the business. You could end up
because I think they wanted immediate impact.
That's what they got.
Which is fine. Which is fine for the way the club is looking. Not making top 4 last year.
Right.
And needing that change. You went from Champions League final to not being top 4, not even top, what is it, not even 5th place, right?
Yeah.
So I think that quick impact is something they did need. So in a sense, I do now thinking about it this way, I do understand the deal and why it happened the way it did. And you don't know what happens in the next 2 years. Maybe Real Madrid doesn't buy him back, which I don't see it happening, but you never know.
But flexibility is good, and that's another good point
exactly.
to bring up. And on the other side of that, when you look at both the Bale deal as well as the Reguilon deal, when you look at the package end, let's say Real Madrid, for some reason, Reguilon has an incredible season, and they're like, we got to get him before anybody else does.
Yeah.
Let's bring in him right now. He can make an impact. They buy him for 45. Now you have a net engagement with Real Madrid of 10 million spent, and bringing in Bale and Reguilon for one season. So I guess it's not the end of the world.
Right. You're right. 100%. 100%.
Not the end of the world. All right,
100%.
So let's go to the next one though, because I think that was an interesting game. The Liverpool Everton 2-2.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
that's
that was incredible, and I know you like to call him Liverpool, but I think they got robbed this time. I think they got robbed. If you want to start talking about this game, the first 5 minutes, Van Dijk gets caught offside, which to me that's not offside at all. So if that's not offside, it's an injury. It's gonna lead you to a PK. That to me was incredible. Not only did he's out for like months now. He needs surgery now.
Let's look at the situation as if it was offside. Let's take that as a given. It was offside, all right?
Okay.
But still, so what do you think about that? The continuation of the play. What is your opinion on how that went down? Because apparently, from the understanding of what the officiating provided is that because the tackle occurred
after the offside,
the offside, but because the referees instructed not to raise it right away in order to benefit the attacking team in case, well, you'd be putting the defensive team in a detriment if you're saying, well, the offside, whatever happens after, it's not going to have an impact other than if you made a bad tackle. We'll give you a card.
Yeah.
So you're giving almost like a double whammy on the defense.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a tragic situation more than anything else. I don't like.
I mean, I think it's tragic only because Van Dijk got that injury. I think if it's not for that, I don't think I would have too many complaints.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's part of the play, but and I've pointed out some of my dislike with Van Dijk's current form, the way he's been playing, but that's really a sad thing to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying he's top form right now, but I hate seeing a player go out like that. If they got a penalty for that play, then you get a little like condolences, but nothing. And again, I'm only saying this because you called him Liverpool, so that's why I wanted to point it out. But I think this time they got robbed. If you talk about, I know I'm jumping around, but I don't think that was offside.
How about the Mane one?
Yeah, that wasn't offside either.
You don't think
I don't think that was offside.
Well, my naked eye, when I was looking at it, I was like, shit, they scored.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, they scored. I got it so wrong. It was very close. I was so close to getting it. But they brought it back, and I didn't understand how. I didn't see the
I don't know. I don't know how that was offside. I don't know. I saw the VAR picture with the lines, and to me, that's I did not understand.
But I will say this. That when you look at it and you really slow down and just line it up, you just kind of line it up right there. What you see is his shoulder, right? Because you can't touch it with your arm, but your shoulder is an extension of your arm. You could use this part.
Right.
So technically, if you were to stand facing the camera and I was to stand sideways, if my shoulder is just slightly beyond your back, I'm offside, and that's what.
Was that the case? Yeah.
I think that's
okay.
that was
fair
the
enough.
case, and you can barely see it. It's
If
like,
that's the case, fair enough. But to
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
seeing the picture with the lines, the red and the blue lines,
exactly.
to me, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand. And
Yeah.
I was shocked because, they got robbed. If you ask me, they got robbed twice.
Yeah.
And besides not winning the game, they lost Van Dijk, which is a big L. They lost him. I heard Thiago also was out. So Adrian, I think, had a good game, though. He had some great saves.
Yeah, decent game after
Yeah.
this horrendous one.
Exactly.
Nightmare.
No, of course. That's what I'm saying. Like, he had a decent game, I think. Terrible games for both fullbacks. On both
that's what I was
teams.
gonna
On
say.
both
Thank you
teams.
for reminding me.
But the
Arnold-
difference is that Digne ended up assisting that goal. That's the only difference. But of the overall picture, all four fullbacks had terrible games. Terrible.
Yeah, what did you think about Arnold, especially because we've been talking about him, and it's kind
So
of
I
been a
thought,
slow rolling
so
thing.
I thought he was good until he lost until that goal, that second goal.
Yeah.
Until then, I thought he had a good game. I thought Robertson was the one that's been lacking.
Really, I actually thought the opposite. I thought Robertson was more aggressive.
Because the first
Did he
goal was
really-
on him, I think, and then the second goal was on
Yeah,
on your friend.
yeah,
So I was like, okay, they're all done.
exactly. I mean, I think that there's a big issue with the way he's been playing. He's
Yeah.
not marking well, not positioning well. The only reason that he's not getting us found out is because Liverpool is so strong. He has the protection of Fabinho right next to him. He's got Van Dijk and Gomez helping cover.
Not anymore.
And they're
Not anymore.
But
So we'll see.
But they do have a lot of possession. They are a very good team and press the opposition. So it's not as though that he's getting people looking like, oh, let's attack Arnold. That hasn't been done, but it's starting to.
Right,
And he's
yeah.
getting exposed because people are noticing. And now with Van Dijk.
Like I don't know who are they gonna play.
I think that might be what saved your prediction for the season, because
I don't think that's what saved it for there. I think that would be the case either way. But
Yeah.
but now they might drop even more points.
Yeah.
Because who will they
Very
play?
likely.
Who will they play in that spot? You already have
Honestly,
a young Gomez playing besides him, right? So who do you? Fabinho as a center back.
I mean, he did play as a right back for Monaco and did step in.
He
on
started
the
in a
CDM
right back in Madrid actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. There you go. So he can play. He is a defensive-minded player. However, whichever position you look at it, it kind of reminds me of the Fernandinho type.
I was
role.
gonna say that's Fernandinho 2.0. You think?
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
And we'll see.
Yeah.
See. It's gonna be a struggle for sure, because even if you do drop him back, who covers in the middle? They don't necessarily have another CDM. They have Keita.
Keita, I was gonna say he could play a role theoretically.
He could
Theoretically.
Right, and then you have Henderson, who could probably drop in.
But
deeper.
again, we're all talking on paper, right? We don't know.
Exactly.
We don't know in the grand scheme of things. We don't know how that's gonna work out.
Our boy though, Calvin Lewin.
Oh my God, I love seeing that kid
again.
play. Great, amazing. I don't have words.
Towering header, just
Yeah.
a beast.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
crazy game.
can't watch enough of this Everton side. So much fun. I
Mhm.
mean, they're just
I agree.
so lit. But let's go on
What's
to
the
the
next
next
game?
game. What's our next game? We had obviously the
Arsenal game?
The Arsenal game, the Arsenal Manchester City game. What are your thoughts about that? Because I obviously have.
What are my thoughts? Very disappointing.
there.
Only a
Right.
one goal game. Off topic, but I hated seeing Aguero put his hand on there was a female referee. I hated seeing that. That's not a part of the game.
My first thought was you wouldn't do that to a male referee.
Of course
That was
not.
my
Of
first
course not. And I hated seeing that. And I think Pep made a comment like, "Oh, Aguero is the nicest guy I know," but
Yeah, I would have wanted her to say something like, "Come right back here, bring the other red."
to me that's a
You
red
don't put- you
card.
just- yeah,
To me that's a red
or at
card.
least a yellow or a red. You don't put your.
To
hands
me,
on the
if you
referee,
touch a referee,
period.
that you have to be sent out.
Whatever the rules.
To
I'm
me,
not sure if it's a yellow or
I've
red,
only
but
seen one other
whatever the
case
rule is.
when a player touched a referee, and that was Ronaldo in the Clásico back. I don't know what the competition was.
Yeah.
I think the Spanish Super Cup,
Mhm.
and he got sent out
Yeah.
because he
so-
got a yellow for
there we
taking off
go.
his shirt celebrating the goal.
Yeah.
Then he touched the referee for a bad call, and he got another yellow and red. So to me,
Okay, so it was a second yellow. So it was a yellow for.
right.
red.
But to me, if you touch a referee, that's a red. You should be sent out.
No, I agree
In
with
one
you.
way or
I
another, you
agree
should be
with
sent
you.
out, right? I don't know if there's a difference in terms of the rules. If you get sent out, like if you have one yellow, and your second one, can it be just a straight? I don't know. There's rules with having just a straight red. I don't know, but that's besides the point.
Exactly.
Um,
It was definitely disrespectful, and we definitely feel that That shouldn't
Yeah.
have been the case.
Yeah. So going back to the game, talking about Arsenal, I think your best player was Saka.
Yeah,
Hands
yeah,
down.
yeah.
I
But
felt
the miss.
I felt very overwhelmed by seeing how well he played and how well he dealt with the pressure and the penalties he's facing. And to me, I was thinking, how come Pep can do that?
Yeah.
Pepe, sorry, not Pep. How come
Pepe.
Pepe can't do that?
Yeah.
He's a young kid.
It's always an attitude thing.
He's a young kid. He's a
Mental.
young kid, and I love how he plays. He's clearly a Arsenal fan at heart because
Yeah,
he has the
grew up
passion.
since 8, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. So I loved seeing him do his thing. But to me, he shouldn't be your best player on the field. You
Yeah,
know,
I
there's all
agree.
these
That
other
was-
players that should step up.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I had an issue to pick with Aubameyang. I thought he was not lively enough.
I didn't know. I thought he was off. I didn't realize he was playing until I checked the
Yeah.
lineups. You know, and
very lethargic from him and Willian. I thought Pepe worked harder.
he
than-
did.
than
He had that
both
one
of them.
header, but yeah.
And then he worked at closing down more. Usually I would.
No, he
I
worked
go-
hard. Pepe worked hard. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But to me,
Yeah.
I don't know. I had more expectations, but
Me too. Me too. I have more expectations, and I want to see him press harder in terms of the opponent. He seems a little bit looking for too many touches. Find the double pass, attack the lines.
yeah.
And my biggest inclination from the game, it's just not what Arteta wanted to do.
And I don't. And to that point, why is he playing three in the back? I don't understand.
So that wasn't supposed.
Why are you putting Tierney as a center? I don't understand. Even Pep tried that with Kyle Walker,
Yeah.
putting him as a center back, and he reverted to the four in the back. You know, he reverted to four
Tierney,
defenders.
With Tierney, I love Tierney. I'll fight for him tooth and nail.
No, as a left back
No,
though.
no. Even as a
Yeah?
center, he plays well. Last game, not so well. He did not play as well as he. That was not a Kieran Tierney
I just don't
performance. But I'll tell you why. He was in quarantine in Scotland until the night before. That was when Arsenal were able to get the approved for him
That's
to
why
come and play.
That's why they put Tierney back.
No, that's why they played. That's why he looked very
Oh,
behind
no,
the base. They played three in the back because Holding got injured in warm-ups.
Okay.
Holding was supposed to start. They were gonna go Holding, Gabriel, Tierney. That's at least from the way the setup was. That was what I read from it. Willian coming
If
in.
you
had the
tell me
support
that
from
and
the
that's
midfield on the
so
sides of him.
if the plan was changed last minute, to me I'm okay. That's fine. Because
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I understand.
and that's
Because
that's
it
my
didn't look
takeaway.
organized either.
Yeah, that's my takeaway because I saw when he wanted to do bring in Willian from the top, and it just didn't make sense. There was too many
Yeah.
gaps between the forward line.
Yeah.
Because you had your wide back Saka and Bellerin sucked in down low because of the amount of attackers City were throwing in. So they weren't able to transition at all because Ceballos and Xhaka, let's be real, they're just not fast enough to transition and just to flip it on.
Right.
That left a lot on the wings. And
Yeah.
then you have Aubameyang, Willian just getting a little discouraged, and then that puts the team at a worse situation. So the tactics really broke down, but you come away with it thinking Aubameyang, one-on-one chance, Saka, one-on-one chance. They both
One
could've
one
buried.
through ball. One through ball. That's all you needed
through
with
ball.
these two players. One through ball.
And they had them. They just couldn't.
I know.
And they,
Yeah.
if those two chances, it's the 2-1, and that's exactly how I saw it. Because
Yeah, no, there was a chance Saka had. It was one-on-one
I really
against
left the game
Anderson,
there.
and I could not believe him. I mean, it's more of Anderson did a good job, you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. He came out quick, closed down. Can't say anything wrong.
You
about
know,
the
yeah.
goal
I mean,
there.
Saka did everything right in terms of.
Maybe a little wider, a little this, a little
Yeah.
that, but then that's bones to pick. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's exactly like I said. That's
Uh,
pennies.
great,
you know?
great play, turning around
Yeah.
there, the connection. That was the beautiful thing. Just to finish it off, that's what it takes.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
But the
again,
signs are there. Signs are there.
sign of there, but
Don't
I
problem.
still think that the midfield or the formation was totally wrong. I think Man City had
Yeah.
the ball a lot more than they should have.
And remember we
it-
talked about Partey, and you brought this up and you asked whether he's gonna play or not, and
Yeah.
what could he do, and he didn't. And
I mean, he came in at some point, which I didn't expect him to start just because he only came in, right?
He had one practice.
Yeah,
One practice.
and you
before
saw
that.
he was uncomfortable because of his yellow card. And if you look
Yeah.
last year in the Liga, he got 16 yellow cards in the entire length of the league,
yeah.
right? So he's already on his first yellow card, his first game.
Which I thought was bullshit, by the way, because I mean it was just
Yeah,
like the first
I don't
tackle.
know.
A lot of players were committing a
Yeah,
bunch of tackles.
yeah,
throughout
it was
the
his,
game.
his first tackle, right? Yeah, so he just came in. I saw that as him being uncomfortable and
Yeah.
him being under certain. I don't want to say pressure he shouldn't be under because he's a
Yeah.
pro soccer player, but he just wasn't comfortable.
Again,
And that's not his fault. That's
Yeah.
not his fault. That's not nothing that he did wrong. It's just the situation, and like you said, they changed formation last minute. Unlucky, unlucky.
Exactly, unlucky. Still, I don't, it's like all these little things at the end of at the Arsenal games where they leave you feeling like, all right, Party gets a yellow after first tackle, but Aguero can literally pull the ref in, stuff like this. Mane,
Yeah, I'm surprised that Aguero did not get a.
Just,
Again, I said he should have gotten a red card for that. To me, that's a red card.
But it's all these things that never, ever go Arsenal's way in those games. They just never do. They never do. It's not like, oh, maybe we.
I mean, don't feel too bad because the season just started, right?
Exactly.
And I know we talk about our predictions for top 4 almost every episode, but it's gonna be a good season because all the teams are weaker. There's no super team.
But hear me out. It's because Liverpool, that matchup, Mane clocks Tierney. That's not a yellow foul. I mean,
I agree.
He just went right into his face.
I agree.
And then Aguero pulls in the ref. That's not not even a talking to.
That should be a red card.
Like, not even a talking to.
Yeah, no, you cannot do that.
Touching a ref.
And I'm not saying that because she's a female ref. I'm just saying you cannot touch a ref. And I feel like he was only comfortable doing that because she was a female ref.
Yeah,
and to me that makes it worse.
And then I felt that they're not doing anything. It's a touchy side. It's a touchy thing. Yeah. It's touch and go. You don't want to.
Just like racism when refs don't do anything. It's the same.
The refs don't exactly.
Yeah.
But gotta live with it. Next game they can't leave it up for these little dumbasseries. I mean, honestly, like you can't do that to the ref. You can't do that to anybody on the pitch. But besides that, let's go on to the next game, because Getafe, Barcelona. We could talk about both of them, at the same, because it's.
So I told you that
replicas.
So I told you I don't watch Barcelona games in the sense that I think if I watch a game to see one team lose, it's gonna jinx it, So I don't watch Barcelona games for that purpose. So if you want to talk about the game, by all means, I can't contribute.
All right. I mean, I saw a little bit of the Madrid game. I saw mainly. I saw most of the Barcelona game. I didn't see most of the Real Madrid game because it overlapped with the Arsenal.
Yeah,
game.
he did. Yeah.
So I just tried to watch as much as possible. I ended up not watching.
Tell us about the Barcelona game.
In terms of that game, Getafe played really well.
They're a strong side. Don't forget, they're no like bottom feeders. They're a strong team.
I really had an issue with the penalty they got. Thought it was super soft. Like what happened was, how when you receive a pass, and you're trying to shield somebody off that's behind you. Okay. Right. So let's say that
as a striker.
Yeah, as a striker. So the defender overexerts themselves, and you fall down to win the ball, right? But that's if you're standing in your position. So De Jong expects this. De Jong stays a yard behind, not trying to win it. What does the offensive player do? Throws himself into De Jong right in front of the ref. The ref calls it.
Really?
5-10 minutes later, Ansu Fati in the box, with the ball, just player, boom, just knocks him, just goes into him, doesn't go for the ball, just smacks him, a rugby type tackle, and goes on. It was a little bit shoulder to shoulder. But honestly, if that's a shoulder to shoulder, you're literally saying to the player, don't make a play on the ball, just shoulder somebody. And that defeats the purpose of shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
Because the whole purpose of shoulder to shoulder is you make a play on the ball.
Right.
And that was lacking. So the interpretation of the rules just kind of like, all right, this guy fell down, and that kind of looks shoulder to shoulder, so I'll take it whichever way I want to. Nevertheless, Getafe, another great performance.
Yeah.
I think Barcelona did not deserve to win it. I didn't think Getafe deserved to win. I thought that was a draw. Barcelona possessed a lot. They couldn't break them down. Well, they did a few times. Griezmann couldn't capitalize.
It sounds like the Real Madrid game. Sounds exactly the same.
Exactly. It was very weird.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
How about the Real Madrid game?
It was also strange. Last year when I was in Madrid for the first leg with City in the Champions League and then the Clásico. So someone I follow, Kian Shabani, he has the Managing Madrid podcast, and they had a live one after the City game, and where we talked about, we lost the first game 2-1, and I told him I don't think that Modric and Isco can play together. I really don't think they can play together. Whenever they do, it never works out. They're very similar, and we saw it yesterday. They play together. Isco looked out of shape. He would do all the right things, come up against the net, and then slip. He slipped twice. That was weird to me. I just don't like to see them play together, and it didn't work out. And I've been saying this for a year now, and it shows. Another bad stat, which I'm not proud to say, but Marcelo, every time he starts, every loss we had, Marcelo started that game. I think he's aging, right? He's becoming older, which is not his fault, but that becomes a risk in the defensive side because he is such an offensive left back and he brings a lot to the table when it comes to being offensive and putting those crosses in, but that leaves the back exposed. And I think that's what happened in the goal that we conceded. It was very early on. But it wasn't his fault. The team looked terrible. I talked about Vasquez before. He was playing, and to me, why play Vasquez when you have Asensio, you have Rodrigo, you have all these players. If you don't want to play these two, I'd rather play a narrow formation with no wingers.
Well, now that you say that, it's almost like carbon copy, right? Because Barcelona didn't start Fati; they started Pedri.
Yeah.
They started different players that you.
Yeah, it was weird.
Maybe that goes. You know what? And this is where we could take this further. Maybe this is the coronavirus situation. Players are getting tired. That they just need an extra week's rest.
It's that national break. We talked about this last episode. It's that break for the national teams where they play. The players come back. They're tired. To me, like a player like Modric, how do you start a player in his mid-30s who just played for his national team, been on flights back and forth, lacking sleep, tired? How do you start such a player?
And again in 5 games.
Yeah, how do you start him? I love Modric, but to me, he doesn't start. To me, if I was Zidane, Valverde starts every game.
Yeah.
When Hazard is injured, Vinicius starts every game. Yeah. Casemiro starts every game. Casemiro wasn't there.
Yeah.
Valverde wasn't there. And so to me, it was very weird. And when I see these kind of lineups, I want to think, okay, why? Right? Mm-hmm. So Marcelo played. Why did he play? He wasn't playing for Brazil. So I get that. Why did Sergio Ramos play? That's a game that you can give him a rest, right? Next week is El Clasico. The first Champions League game is this Tuesday, or maybe Wednesday. Regardless,
I think a defender shouldn't need to rest, personally.
Well, I think he should because he doesn't get minutes off in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So and he's also on the older side of things. So same reason, give him a break. He has 2 games back to back this coming week. This is the game you're at home against a newly promoted team.
Yeah.
Play Militao. Militao is no stranger to playing big game. Slouch. Exactly. So and you have Varane.
Yeah.
So to me, that's mind-boggling decision. And what happened was he did get an early yellow card, fairly deserved to Ramos, and then he actually got injured and I think it's nothing major. I don't think it's anything major from what I've read, but he got taken off in the halftime. Because of that, so
he's probably gonna be a question mark at the very least. For
I think he's a question mark for the Champions League game. I think he's definitely playing Clasico.
Oh yeah.
Even if you cut off his leg, he's playing Clasico.
Well, sometimes you'd rather have a player that's healthy.
And that to me that was my point in last year's second leg versus City. Hazard didn't play at all, and he started instead of Vinicius. And I don't think that's what cost us the game. But to me, that's a strange decision. It's not FIFA, right? If a player gets injured, you can't just put him back. You can't. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But back to the lineups. You look at your midfield. I said Modric and Isco cannot play together. Cross, I'm fine with, but he cannot play a defensive. He cannot play as a CDM.
Are you fine with letting Isco take over that Modric role? Because, like you said, he does seem out of shape, inconsistent.
I'm fine with him getting the minutes, but I'm not fine with him playing with Modric because it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. And then, Benzema starts again. There's no question about that because he doesn't play for the France national team.
Yeah.
But then the biggest question mark is Lucas Vazquez, right? Because when I see him in the team, I'm thinking, okay, Zidane wants to play a defensive game. He wants to help the right side when it comes to defense.
Yeah.
And again, who plays on defense? Nacho Fernandez, which is a sub of a sub, right? But I love Nacho. He's he's a utility player, so I don't mind him playing there. But Vazquez wasn't helping out on the defense. So to me, if that's the case, why is he still in the game? Or if that was your plan, right? You obviously tell your players about your plan. It didn't happen. Vazquez did play well. I thought he did some right things. He tried to cut in the middle, but to me, he doesn't start. To me, you have other options to start these kind of games. So
I feel like there's a lot of players in Real Madrid that bring something to the table, but not a complete picture at the moment.
Yeah, and
like Vazquez and Asensio would combine for what you need.
Right.
But it's not together.
Right, and Asensio has so much potential, but the injuries, and he got injured, a minor injury again. Yeah, not now, during the break.
Okay.
So It's not clear, but I think what Real Madrid are doing.
Best ability is availability.
No, you're right, and I think that Real Madrid didn't extend any contracts at this point because Corona, the entire pandemic, and we're still in a point of transition, right? You're transitioning the older players out, and next year is our big summer. This summer is our big summer. We have Mbappe in our plans, and we have Holland in our plans. So it's
both.
Yeah. That's what that's what I heard. Do I think it's gonna happen? I think it's possible.
Yeah. Would that mean Benzema's gone?
No, I think he's gonna transition out. I don't think he's gonna get an extension past.
Well, both of them would have to play. I don't think either of them come to Real Madrid if they don't start.
Right. No, Mbappe plays on the right to me.
Right.
Benzema, I think I think at some point he's gonna go back to Lyon and retire
if
there.
I'm Holland, I'm not going to anywhere I don't start. He's the way he plays. I got start.
Right, and that's a discussion we can have when the deal is done.
Exactly.
Because at this point of time.
Just thinking whether it's
no, I agree.
Because if it's realistic,
I think he wants.
either him or Benzema.
I think he wants to come, and I think that having Odegaard on our team even brings them even more because they're playing the national team together. Yeah. So, but again, that's in the summer. So to me, we started the game in a weird lineup.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that we looked the way we did because, and I say this every year, Modric and Isco cannot play together. And like I said earlier this episode, you control the game in the midfield, and when your midfield doesn't look good, you're done.
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
A bunch of these teams here. Same goes for Tottenham.
Yeah,
They lost the
yeah,
midfield, they lost
yeah.
the game. Arsenal. When
We
they
see
didn't have
this
the
in the
midfield,
modern,
they lost.
and
Leicester again today. They started letting off. Aston Villa pushed it. I think the first 20 minutes Leicester had them. Aston Villa pushed in. They got the middle. They started possessing, and then they get the result. It's not a surprise. Whoever is taking the initiative, kind of like what we started the podcast with. If you're bringing the initiative to the game, if you're imposing your will and the way that you envision playing on your opponent, you have succeeded, and that's going to put you in the best position to win the game and get the result.
Exactly.
And with that, let's just kind of look at what we scored.
Okay.
Because this was
that's always fun. So.
Yeah, this one's not going to be fun. For neither
It's not gonna be fun.
Because think about it.
Yeah,
week it's
that's true.
crazy
That's
results,
true.
and we were
Yeah.
like, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, and everything's 1-0.
But it is crazy results.
Yeah, that's unexpected.
I enjoyed the games
Unexpected.
either way. I mean, I did not enjoy the Real Madrid game, but
Yeah.
all right, go ahead.
Neither did I for the Barcelona. So let's start with those.
Okay.
Real Madrid, Cadiz, 2-0, I had 4-0.
Yeah.
And obviously.
That's an L. That's an L right there.
Yeah, that's an L. And then for Getafe, Barcelona, we both had Barcelona.
Yeah.
You had 3-1. I had 2-1. And obviously 1-0. And I think it's actually pretty much even on the goals. that we
Right.
were
Yeah.
off on.
Right.
For Tottenham West Ham, you had 3-1 Tottenham. I had
That was close.
2-1 West Ham. I was closer.
Yeah, that's true.
They missed 2 off the line.
That's true. You're right.
Think of that.
That's true.
So 3-3 again. Missed on all those. Manchester City, Arsenal. I actually had 3-1. I thought I had 2-1, but you had 2-2. Closer.
That's close.
But we both missed.
Yeah. No.
Again.
We messed up this week.
Again. Leicester, Aston Villa. Leicester, you had 3, Aston Villa 1. I had 3-3.
Yeah.
And it was obviously 1-0
Yeah.
Aston Villa. We had, I thought 6 goals, you thought 4 goals, 1 goal came up. Alright, so to the last but not least, Everton and Liverpool. You had 2-0, I had 3-2.
Wow, you were close. You were close.
2-2. I was close. I was
You're
close on
close.
a bunch of these, but
Yeah.
close isn't enough.
Right.
I'm gonna say one thing about these predictions. I've had good days of predictions and like today some bad days, but I think with Corona it's even tougher.
I just love that we're
It's
wrong.
tough.
I love it that we're wrong because that means that it's going to be
exciting.
such an open league. It's going to be an open season, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Can't make any predictions anymore really, but we'll still try to.
We'll try.
Who
We'll
knows?
try.
So just to leave you with some room for thought, I know that next week there's Champions League.
Champions League.
There's some big games in the weekend, so I kept it to 6 games. Not all the teams we usually talk about, but there's huge games we have to get on board, and there's a surprise game in here.
Okay.
That's not a big game, so I really want to know what you think about that one right there. But we'll start
All right.
with
Go.
Sevilla, didn't they win last year's Europa League?
They did.
They did. So it's going to be last year's Europa League champion
Really?
against the previous year's Europa League champion.
Who
in
was
Chelsea.
that? Chelsea.
Yeah, so Chelsea against Sevilla. That's going to start off for European
Wow,
competition.
it's gonna be great.
That's
It's gonna be a
Tuesday,
good. It's gonna be a
3
fun game. But I think that Chelsea's gonna have to win this one.
What's the score though? And by the way, it's at Stamford Bridge. It's
Yeah.
not the Stamford
But again, I don't think that means much. Not anymore. See, I don't know if it's gonna be a 2-1 or a 3-1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go for 2-1.
2-1.
2-1.
Conservative. Well, didn't Sevilla lose this weekend?
Did they?
Yeah, I think they lost. They lost 1-0. I think they lost to. Let me tell you. Oh, that's last week's. Yesterday's. Sevilla lost to Granada 1-0.
Oh wow.
Right there, baby.
Wow.
So, I think they maybe rested a little bit of players and they're up for
It's
it.
possible.
They're a very aggressive team.
They are.
I'm gonna go with Sevilla. Getting a tie here.
Tie.
I'm gonna go with 2-2.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
2-2.
think this 1-0, 1-0 thing is gonna last much longer.
I'll tell you what. I can see Chelsea conceding first,
Yeah.
tying it up before the half, and then getting
Going up in
another
the lead
goal.
and then giving it up last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll see.
Yeah. That's we'll see. I think
We'll see.
I think these guys are. Chelsea's a good team to watch right now. They're giving. up
I
a
like
good
watching
score.
Chelsea. I think they're playing. Again, I think.
Chelsea at Tottenham is
Yeah,
It
it
is
is
games.
crazy. It is pretty crazy, but
intense. So next one,
okay.
Bayern against Atletico Madrid. We have some fancy matchup. Atletico Madrid have a nice squad now that they're without Partey a little weak in the middle.
Yo,
I
I
think
think that's a
it's-
big L for them. I cannot believe they agreed to that deal because he healthed up their defensive their midfield. To me.
They didn't have a chance to. That was a release clause.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh right.
They were just they didn't want to.
Oh, right,
What happened
right.
was they didn't want to negotiate with Arsenal.
Is that
to get
allowed?
a cheaper deal? Yeah. What happens in Spain with release clauses? Once you have one, you report it to the league. Then you have to pay the league the money. Then the league informs the club. and
Right.
then
Yeah.
they pay.
Yeah.
So because Atletico were annoying and didn't want to do any sort of business to bring it down or like loans, whatever, so they were like, all right, take Torreira. They didn't tell them they were gonna do the thing for Partey, and last day they just did it. So
Okay.
there we go.
So predictions. What do you think?
Bayern to me is clicking right now, and so is Atletico, but not too well. I'm gonna go. Well, Bayern's at home. 3-1 Bayern.
3-1. I say 2-0.
2-0 Bayern.
Yeah. So same.
Same differential.
Yeah.
Oh, I put it accidentally in your spot. Mine. Gotta keep it always the same. Next game. Let's see your thoughts.
Okay.
United play Chelsea, and that's both teams up and down. Anything could happen. How can you even try to predict such a game?
I say 1-0 Chelsea.
That's it.
Even though they had a crazy comeback this weekend, United, but yeah, I can see it being a
And it's
very
at United. It's at Old Trafford.
yeah. But to me now, it doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't, especially in the like regular leagues. In Champions League, you gotta fly out. I mean, you also take flights sometimes in regular league, but I don't see it as having the home advantage now sucks, right?
Yeah.
And just like the Clásico, right? The Clásico is in Barcelona, so who knows? Maybe by the second half of the year, we're back in the Bernabeu. We have the fans. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I hope
Fingers crossed.
I hope fans come back, but I don't think so.
Gotta happen. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Just a little bit.
In
just a
Germany,
little bit.
they had fans for. I don't know if they still do it.
I think it's needed. I think it's super needed.
Of course,
and
of
the
course,
game
of
needs it as
course.
well. Like all these weird.
In every
results,
sport,
I'd rather
yeah.
I'd rather see a highly contested, like
Yeah.
1-0, 1-1.
No, the
than
fans can
to,
change the
like-
game. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So hopefully we get some better defenders in the future. But my prediction is Chelsea United. Both teams are not really defending, but not at all. Chelsea are clicking better offensively than United. I can't see United just getting trashed again.
Trashed.
I mean, I cannot. See
Oh, you can. Okay, yeah, I agree.
Because if they get trashed again,
No, they're not gonna get
Solskjaer
trashed.
can't stay. the
I don't
next
think
day,
they're gonna get trashed.
right?
I
Because
don't
if he
think
gets
so.
trashed, wouldn't you fire all the Gunnar Solskjaer?
I wouldn't fire him, but
Back to back and all these results.
because the
bottom of
question
the
is,
league.
you can't fire someone until you have someone else to step up, right? So I wouldn't You can't just.
And that's how they wound up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So they should have
Right.
been looking around for quite
So
some time.
that's the thing. And I think if they had someone ready to step in, I think we would hear something.
That's true.
So.
Pochettino, Allegri, we talked about it.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah.
They-
I mean, I'd love to see Allegri in the Premier League.
Right.
But
And so my thinking is just this is going to be a high-scoring 3-3.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think both teams can defend for their life right now, and this is going to be everywhere.
Mhm.
And the special one that I wanted to toss in there, I think this is an exciting game just because of the way these two teams are playing.
Yeah.
One of them was supposed to be relegated last season, and they're top 4 today. And they
Aston Villa.
are beating like
Aston
great
Villa.
teams.
That's
left
it.
and right, Aston Villa. And guess who they're playing against? They're playing against the newcomers who have been putting up a fight against no matter who they play, and they take them to the limit.
Leeds.
So, Leeds against Aston Villa. That's how could you 16th place from last season?
This
against the
to
promoted
me-
side, and it's an exciting game.
These to
that I
me
don't wanna
screams
miss.
a 6-6 game. A high scoring game.
Oh yeah.
Not
You just had
6-6.
Villa win
I'm crazy. I'm not. I wasn't being legit, but I'm gonna go with a 2-2.
2-2. Okay. That's not out there. That's not too far out there. I could
It's
see that
not.
happening.
Yeah.
I could totally see that happening.
I don't believe either of these teams had a game go without scoring,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong. So
I don't think you're wrong. No, they both scored all games.
yeah,
you know,
so
yeah.
2-2.
So you can't go not for a team. Not to
Yeah,
score
you can't
goals.
go. You can't go
It's-
0-0.
Villa against Leeds. I think 2-2 is probably a good one to go here. But
You can seal it.
Villa have been squeezing out the performances. I'm gonna go 3-2 Villa.
Okay. 3-2.
3-2.
93rd minute goal.
I don't know about 93rd minute goal.
91st minute goal.
But maybe Declan. Not Declan.
Declan Rice.
What's his
Grealish.
name? Grealish. Yeah, Grealish. Grealish.
I mean, I was surprised.
always get those two names
I was
confused.
surprised because you were talking good, but I'm saying Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley.
What a finish. Yeah, he's been inconsistent though.
I'm thinking, is Frank Lampard upset?
No.
Is he saying, "What did I do"?
No, he didn't like it. I don't think he liked
I know he doesn't like it, but is he saying, "What did I do"?
No, because if you watch the Liverpool game, he missed 2 one-on-ones, easy opportunities. I think this is an odd one. He's in the year, you can't count on him for a win.
Yeah.
Can't count on him for a win. But he's a good
I
player.
mean, he's doing well. He's played 2
doing-
games and performed well in both games, right? So
Agreed. Performing well.
he's doing well. He scored. I think he scored the last game too, didn't he?
I think he scored later, but missed a few. Honestly, they could have.
Yeah, but they trashed Liverpool, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. No fans. Liverpool, the motto, you never walk alone. Yet they play alone right now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're not technically alone, right? They got the fans at home, whatever, and stuff like that. But at the field, they're alone. It's just them and their opponents, and they seem to crumble.
And Barkley.
And they seem to crumble. And to the next one. But Arsenal played Leicester. Arsenal played Leicester in the FA Cup, or not the FA Cup, the EFL Cup earlier this year. Beat them. What are your thoughts on this one?
I see. I'm gonna go with no Vardy. I'm gonna go with a 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal.
Yep.
Yeah, fair. They gotta bring it to them at this point, right?
Yeah, but I don't see Leicester not scoring. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think 3-1.
Okay. Fair enough. I think that Arteta has been a non-negotiable coach, and we saw today a slight slip up. I thought on the non-negotiables they could have brought a little more effort all
Yeah.
the time.
For sure.
Even on the half press, they could have been more intense. At every point, I thought a little bit more could have been there. I think he's gonna have I don't know, just really rip into them this week. So
He has to.
yeah, I think it's gonna be a 3-0.
How
They're gonna get a
old
shot
is
out.
Saka? Do you know?
Even 4-0. Yeah, I'm gonna go 4-0.
Do you know how
4-0
old
is
Saka
I
is?
think that's-
What is he? 21? 20 less? Less?
Saka is 19.
So if your best player against Man City is a 19-year-old kid,
Yeah.
just like with Real Madrid, right, with Vinicius, if that's your best player, you're gonna get it in halftime. You know, you're gonna
Yeah.
get
exactly.
yelled at. There's no.
And even beyond halftime at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
obviously, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what
Yeah.
you mean. Exactly what you mean. 100%. Saka's he's been the leader. That's why I'm saying Martinelli. Gotta get Martinelli back in there. Martinelli will do great things. I
Mhm.
think he's gonna be the answer up front. He could.
I hope
give
for you.
he
I
could
hope
give
so
the
for you.
connection that Arteta wants with Willian, and what's missing in terms of what's it called? In terms of the goal production from Lacazette.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so for you.
Let's go to the last game.
I know, and I'm not gonna make a prediction.
What do you mean?
I'm not gonna make a prediction.
What What do you mean not gonna make a prediction?
I'm not.
You gonna forfeit this one?
I'm not. Yeah, I'll take an L.
You're gonna take
I'm
an
not
L?
making a prediction. No way.
Why? Because predictions don't go wrong for Clásicos? Is that like...
I don't bet on my team. I would never bet on a Real Madrid game.
But you're not betting.
I'm not gonna. You can go ahead. I'm not making a prediction.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think that both teams have been resting their players for this one. It's going to be an exciting one. It's at Barcelona. Usually when the game's at Barcelona, Real Madrid close a little bit more. They let Barcelona attack them, and so instead of pressuring high up the field and giving a lot of spaces for the triangles for the Barcelona way to attack, they're going to fall back, they're going to tighten what they do, and they're going to hit them on the break. Right now, Barcelona is very fragile, has a lot of miscommunications up front, and they give up a lot of possession. And to do that against a skilled team would be like shooting yourself in the foot, quite literally. So this will definitely have some Real Madrid goals. The question is how many and how well Barcelona can connect on the other end.
Yeah.
And this is probably Messi saying whatever has been going on just doesn't matter. He has been a Barcelona player, and this is a Real Madrid-Barcelona Clásico. So he'll probably be on a little more intense levels of play. I think Barcelona will win this one 3-2.
3-2?
In a big game. Because this is at home. I think Coutinho has been improving. Ansu Fati, and you're going to see Messi. It's going to be a lot of things going well, but things that don't go well, Real Madrid will capitalize.
Just one comment. When the Clásicos are in Barcelona, often Real Madrid play better than when the Clásicos in the Bernabeu. Often Barcelona. Wait, did I say that wrong? I said it wrong.
No, you said it right. That's what usually happens.
Yeah. So when Real Madrid are away in the Clásico, they usually play better than when they're at home. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's again I love.
That's exactly what I said. Because
I hate. Yeah, I hate and I love watching Clásicos. You know, I mean, I love it because like again, and I watched Clásico live at the Bernabeu, and it was the most amazing thing of like. I cannot describe the emotion and I cannot describe the experience. But, you know, you're biting your nails and you're stressed and you don't sleep the night before. I mean, maybe I'm a little extreme, but, you know. So I'm not looking forward to the Clásico, but I also am. And, you know, I'm not going to make a comment. I'm not going to make a prediction, but we'll see. It's going to be a good one.
It's definitely a good point that you brought up. The Real Madrid do play better away. That's been a trait of the. It's only because of the conflicting styles of play. How they play. Barcelona are so aggressive when it comes down to possessing the ball. They want the ball. They want possession. Real Madrid want to be efficient. And so that's where the focus is. You're going to press high up at home. You're going to put that energy forward. You're going to just try to wreck them. But the risk is that if you give up early goals, you're in it for the long ride, especially away. So
I'm scared of scoring early. That's and I told this before. I'm scared of scoring
early. It's almost done.
I don't know. I mean, again, the Clásico I watched, right?
Yeah.
The goal came in the second half. The first goal came in the second half.
Yeah.
And you know, if we scored that goal in the first half early on, I'd been.
Oh, timing, yes. Timing of your first goal is important.
You know, I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. If we score in the first 2 minutes, I'm happy, right? But to me, that's scary because I don't want. I'm scared the team will open up.
Yeah, you don't want to be too far on the defensive.
Yeah,
too early.
exactly. And you also don't want to pocket the bus because that's a goal. You know, I mean.
Potentially. Let me tell you this. I think that Barcelona right now are not looking as fluent as they usually do.
But I don't think either team does.
But
I don't think either team looks. Rhythm. The only thing Real Madrid is looking is they're looking happy. They're looking healthy in terms of the locker room, which is an intangible that's very important.
Yeah.
But, you know, we just lost to a newly promoted team at home. But, you know, so.
At an empty home.
Yeah, and it's not even our home. It's the practice, you know, it's practice facility. But
it's that area behind the garage.
No, but the point is, neither team looks good. If you ask me, I'm not happy with how we look, and I'm sure you're not happy with how Barca looks. So, again, we'll see who's happier next week, but.
Next week, baby.
We'll see who's happier.
It's gonna be some exciting games.
Yeah, I'm excited for this coming week, but
I think we'll both be happy. You know, there's some. Look at all these games.
If I don't come to next week's podcast, just
we'll bring you out.
You'll know why.
We'll get a forklift and bring you out.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
No, we'll be fine.
You'll be fine, dude.
I believe in the team. Game. I believe in my team.
It's always moving forward. It's not about the one. It's what you keep going on the next one.
For sure.
They could still do it. Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see.
So stay tuned if you want to see what we have to say on those results, on our predictions. Thank you so much, guys.
Just like, subscribe, that little button down there somewhere.
Yeah, and if you
Don't
haven't,
forget, follow us on Instagram, on the YouTube channel.
and if you haven't shared, share. And we're looking for your feedback too.
Yeah, write a comment below. Tell us what you think, what you want us to talk about, and if you have any feedback or if you agree with us, you don't agree with us. Who'd you pick, Ramos or David Luiz? Who's your center back? Who's your captain? Who's that?
I don't get why you think I made a comparison. All I said was they both.
I'm joking. We'll
figure it out.
But let us know, guys. Let us know.
Peace from the NV and DJ Barz Football Podcast.
Take care, guys.